I am outside. I'm on my way to a meeting, which I really need after yesterday. But not just after yesterday, I really need in general. It's been a couple days since my last meeting. Probably since Sunday. I've probably gone that long since a meeting, which is not good. In a perfect world, I would go to 4 to 5 meetings a week. So to dwindle to just like 2 so far this week, that doesn't work. I'm also realizing I basically was sitting at my computer continuing to work on my iPhone issue, which I think I've resolved. I think I have figured out the answer. And it's an answer Apple was not able to find. And I had to figure it out for myself, which I always managed to do. No, and when I say always, I'm not like making a generalization about my life and saying I'm so awesome. I'm saying in issues with tech support, historically, tech support is never able to help me figure out what's going on with my system. I always say if you want to find out whether a computer or a piece of electronics is going to work, give it to me. If there is a flaw in the design, if there is a possible glitch in the software, if there is even a possible oversight in the way the thing works as a whole, I will find out. So I think that's a better angle. So after like really taking a step back, I spoke with AppleCare today on the phone for 40 minutes, and like it was an emotional standoff between me and this poor guy whose job it was to endure me on the phone. But I was just like, here's what bothers me. Okay. I take it. I see the sign, God. I'm going to stop dumping on people. Got it. And with that said, I really needed that sign right now. With that said, what really bothers me, and it's what I've now spoken to a total of 8 AppleCare representatives. 3 of them, I believe 3 of them, senior representatives, in the last 24 hours. And what has stopped all of them from making any progress with my case is that they're all starting from these foregone conclusions. They can't figure out what's wrong, and so they insist that the only thing left to be done, and what they all basically say is, well, you'll have to just wipe out your phone and start from new. But don't worry, you can recover all your photos, as if that's how I use my phone. As if that's the thing as precious to me as all the pictures I took on my phone. That's the easy thing. You plug it in, you pull them off your computer, you upload them to iCloud, upload them, whatever. I'm interested, something smells good. It's an awful, disgusting Southern barbecue place. By the way, when I walk by a Southern barbecue place and I see it smells good, it's not the meat that smells good. It's like the herbs and the spices and the sauces. It has nothing to do with animals and everything to do with plants. People forget that. Anyway, so where was I? Foregone conclusions. So basically, they're all of the mindset that if I want my phone to work, I'm going to have to wipe it out completely, start from scratch, and I can reinstall my contacts and my calendars, but according to Apple, there is no way to get back your iMessage history, in other words, your text messages. There's no way. It's just not possible. There is no way. And they're just like, you're just going to have to be okay with that. Now, I haven't really experienced the loss of a loved one in my life. At 37 years, I've still never really experienced death, you know? Knock wood. There we go. However, like, for all they know, I have, like, you know, the last text a loved one ever sent me, right? Or like a photo of my newborn niece or nephew that only exists in that text message to me. And they're just like, nah, you'll just have to delete that. So like, I kept telling them, I'm like, your solution isn't going to work for me. And in the end, the answer was basically, all right, let's figure out why these contacts aren't syncing with my phone. And what do they have in common? What is distinct about them? Long story short, if I go into my contacts and I hide all of them, and then I selectively just view certain groups of them. Now, I'm not aware that I use Gmail for creating any contacts. I don't. I create all my contacts in iCloud. However, here's where it gets interesting. Somehow, since installing iOS 10, somehow my default setting got switched, and my phone set Gmail as the default account for creating any future contacts. Which is why the contacts I create, I don't know if I explained to you guys yesterday the nature of the customer service issue, but when there's several contacts that I created over the weekend, and none of them would synchronize with my iCloud. So I was like, well, what is distinct about them? And it turns out the one in particular that I was looking at that would not sync to the iCloud somehow got created under Gmail. Now, I'm sure this is a long, boring rant, but like the whole point of this is like, if they had just been creative in their troubleshooting, as Obama once said, you know, approach it with a scalpel, not an axe. Then, is an axe the right thing to call it? What's the word for a small little hand axe? Anyway. If they had just been creative in their approach, they could have helped me sort of gumshoe and sleuth that out for myself and kind of find my own solution. Instead of just telling me, wipe it out, leave it for dead. So anyway, I didn't mean to say any of that on this message. I didn't mean to go into any of that. What I meant to say was, I spent all of yesterday basically indoors working on this. And as you know, the day before yesterday, I spent hibernating. So I think this is the first time in over 48 hours that I've been outside. So I feel right now like a dog that's finally been let out. Like, oh my God, just being outside, the sounds, the smells, the air, the temperature, it's so exciting. Like, I feel so invigorated by just being outdoors. And with that said, I'm walking in a little late to a much needed meeting. And then I'm gonna get home and get back to work on restoring my computer. I have a long road ahead of me, but at this point, I know what I'm doing, and I know how to restore my computer to where it needs to be. Thank God I'm tech savvy. I mean, really tech savvy. Because I wonder, like, this is the point where so many other people would just give up on technology. Anyway, I'm here at my meeting. Talk to you soon. Do I look surprised? It's my new brows. You know what? It's shocking to me. It's 7:40 p.m. and it's totally dark outside. That, to me, is how you know summer is officially over. I still can't believe I'm a grown-up with a lease. Here we go. Hi. Cha cha cha. Happy birthday, Mary Jane! Woo! Yeah! What'd you wish for?
Don't tell him.
No, you can't tell anyone. Hey, Patty! Oh my god. Good to see. I thought that was Mary Jane for a second. Oh my god, you guys look like twins. Hey, I'll take it. I'll take it. That's good stuff. I love you too. Thanks so much for this. All right, I'll talk to you soon. All right, bye. Oh, I wanted to. I don't know how to. I couldn't figure out how to, like, on the spur of the moment, quickly record that. And I tried recording it from my. My phone with a screen recording app, but when I did that, it turned all the volume off. So I got this little tiny bit of footage. So we'll see what I can do with that. It's like 2 seconds. Oh well, that was precious. Now I got to call back one of my coaching participants.
Hey, going to bed. Usually I don't go to bed without editing and uploading my vlog, but it's already 2 in the morning and I already was falling asleep on the couch watching Drag Race. Like, I had to keep rewinding it to be like, wait, who's in the bottom 2? Who's coming back? So, like, I'm already falling asleep. There's no point in making myself stay up later to update my vlog. We'll see how this pans out. But I think the responsible thing to do is go to bed now, get as close to 8 hours of sleep as I can, and then edit it in the morning, bright and early. For the sake of accountability, I did not do my morning pages today. I did not do my mountain climbers or push-ups. I could be all bold and badass and jump out of bed and do them now. What I think would be more workable is that I just renew my commitment and I do it in the morning tomorrow. And I take a look at what got in my way today that had me not do it first thing in the morning. Not what got in my way, what I let get in my way today was the whole Apple situation. So from now on, if I'm that revved up and upset about Apple, I'm going to take it out on the damn floor with some push-ups. All right, that's what I see that I could do differently to do better tomorrow. Lastly, I just want to say, it's one thing for me to really open my life and my home to you guys, and to like show my apartment in this state of chaos and disarray. I mean, let's face it, my apartment is not what you would normally want to show to the world. I mean, yeah, great view. That's awesome to fall asleep to at night. But like, this level of mess and clutter and chaos, it just doesn't work. And I had a friend stop by today, and she looked around my apartment. She's like, "What is this?" And long story short, she basically said, she's like, "I'm going to be back in December. And when I'm back in December, this can't be like this." And so basically I made a verbal contract with her. Not even verbal, I wrote it down on the board. But I was like, when my friend comes back in December, I told her my apartment will be ready it will be housewarming party ready by December. I know what that means to me, like what would look like housewarming party ready. And I also told her I would give her monthly check-ins on my progress. So, game on. One last thing that I want to say before going to bed. It always feels like if I record a little snippet at a time, then these are like not going to be really long. And then at the end of the day, I'm like, this is a 21-minute vlog. But part of what I'm doing as a coach in this leadership program, first off, I'm falling in love with all 4 people that I coach. They're just huge people in this world, and these are 4 people who are going to change the planet. And I'm so honored to get to be their coach through this journey. And what it's bringing out of me, like what I have to put myself through to be able to lead them by example, like I'm having to one thing I had to do is I was getting bombarded by email, and I'm also responsible to make sure I'm reading all the email, acknowledging it, responding to it, and taking whatever actions there are to take. But I have like 28,000 emails in my inbox that are unread, going back to 2009. That doesn't work. So what I did is I created a separate email address just for this coaching program so that I can, no matter what chaos is going on in my life, I can look and be like, oh, look, it says I have 2 unread messages. Let's go directly to them and take care of them now. And what that made available in my life today is with velocity, I was able to boom, 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 go right through it. Rather than what I used to do is like sort and hunt and pick through all my messages and first spend time trying to find them. Oh, look, I got a little bug on the wall. Look at him. I left my windows open today, which I usually don't do, and there's never bugs of any kind in this apartment. So like the fact that I got a cute little, I don't even know what kind of guy he is. Like a little, he'll find his way out later. It's all good. Anyway, like the fact that just by doing that, there's no longer a task called look for all the emails. They're just right there, you know? And it made me think, why don't I have that set up for business? Like, why don't I message all my photography clients, old and new and future, and be like, from now on, for photography, please message me here, right? That would just be a whole new way of life for me. So that's one thing. And the other thing is, like, the level of organization I'm having to create in my life to be able to successfully coach for participants in this program and be accountable to my head coach, who I report back to on their progress, and support the other 2 coaches who also report to my head coach. Like, we're a team as much as my participants are a team. And my co-coaches participants are as much a part of my game, you know? Like, I really want to take that on, and I want to create a big space that all of us can step through. And what that looks like for me is that I'm having to create like real structures. It's involving overhauling my contacts and my calendars, which sort of resulted in like the root canal I had to give my iPhone yesterday to like rip out what's not working. I'm finding it, by the way. I'm really finding it. I'm really I'm really like getting deep into my phone and like, here it is. This is the thing that had this contact not show up on my computer. So that's exciting. And the last thing I want to say is, because I am coaching people through creating structures for fulfillment. What that means is I'm coaching people through, all right, what do you want to fulfill on by the end of 7 months? Okay, great. Let's create a structure so that you can fulfill on that. Where do you want to be at the finish line? Okay, great. So let's work backwards from there. Where are you going to need to be, 3 months before that? All right, where are you going to need to be a month before that? Where are you going to need to be 2 months before that? Where are you going to need to be 2 weeks from now? Where are you going to need to be 1 week from now? Where you need to be tomorrow? Like, really creating milestones. That was a bad way of laying out the timeline, but working backwards from where you want to be by when, and then work backwards. Like, all right, so what milestones and what measures will you have to hit along the way, and by when? And it had me realize, like, that is what's missing from my apartment, because the transformation of this apartment, which I've now lived in for 2 years. When I moved in, if you'd asked me, like, hey, so when is it going to be set up and, like, immaculate? I would have been like, oh, girl, give me, like, 3 months. 2 years later, it still looks like, a storage facility. And I pretend I love it, but I really don't, I have a friend coming in for the weekend, and it's just like, I don't want my friend to be, like, uncomfortable on my space and feel like, ugh, I came to visit New York City, maybe I should have got a hotel, which might, make the difference between someone being able to come to New York or not. Like, I can't come to New York if I have to get a hotel, and I don't want to come to New York and stay in that kind of a messy apartment. So, for me, getting my home in order has always lived as a someday phenomenon. Like, oh yeah, I'll do it, I'll do it, I'll do it. If you find yourself saying, I'll do it, 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 like, and you're not saying when you're going to do it, and then you're not putting that on your calendar, and then you're not telling someone else, I am going to do this by this date, and I will check in with you about that on this day. If you aren't living your life that way, then things are going to happen by themselves on their own time, and it's not going to be when you want them. So, game on. I wrote down December 10th. I have to have my apartment in order. That's under 3 months from now. I'm going to bed. That is like 2 weeks shy of 3 months. So I would guesstimate I have about 11 weeks. So I basically, so what I need to do is create a structure for myself, a structure to fulfill on that. And then I get to put that in my calendar. And what that's going to show up for me is like, oh, okay, this week I'm painting. This week I'm getting rid of this much clutter. This week I'm reorganizing. This week I'm taking care of my bed. This week I'm taking care of my couch. So I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited that I got to see that that was missing for me today. So that is it. Peace out. I will edit this in the morning. And when you see this video, you will know that at least I got some sleep.
I'm going to declare that I'm going to get it by the 13th try latest. It's 10 tries. Ah, damn it! How hard can this be? Take 5 million. So close! No. I finally made it and then realized it would have looked better if I was looking right in the camera lens, right? So I'm going to keep going. I'm also going to use a bigger... I'm going to use a bigger Red Bull as well. It will just look better. This is what artists do! Look at the camera, not my computer. Christopher, damn it! I'm putting my mouth on something that has hit the floor like 50 times. Not even a participation trophy. Motherfucker! This is the last one because I say so. It's the last one because I say so. You know what? I haven't thrown any of these knowing in advance that it's going to go in, so I'm going to do that now. This is not as much fun as it looks. At least that one came back to me. Fucking kidding me! This would be easier if the basket wasn't so full. That's why drinking Red Bull is a problem. Yes! Yes! Persistence!